Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this matted neckline. So for that, you're going to need your basic bodice pattern on a pattern paper, the basic bodies that you'll be needing for that. So guys, now that I have this neckline, the next thing I have to do is just to go ahead. It depends on you how wide you want, the depth you want the V to come down. So you're going to measure from your shoulder to where you want it to be, and then you're going to go ahead and mark that. So let's say I want my V to be up to about 9 inches down here. So I'm going to just mark that 9 inches here, and then I'm going to come out here by about 2 inches on this neckline, except you don't want this the straps to go down up to that point. But if you want it to come down up to here, you're going to mark about 2 inches away from your neckline, and then you're going to go ahead and connect it all the way down to this point. So guys, after cutting it into two, now the next thing we are going to do is just to take this one now, cut it out this way. So we are going to separate it at this point. There are different designs of this matting neckline. Some people have it on one side, some people have it on all the neckline. So I'm going to show you guys in different videos how you can make different designs of this. So this one here, we are trying to make a neckline like this. So this one here is going to be the body of the dress. So the body is here. So you're going to go ahead and trace out this on a pattern. So this is going to be cut out on your fabric, and then this one here is going to be the one with this straps. So all you have to do now is just to open this up this way, and then you're going to go ahead and mark out how you want them to go, from this neckline. But you know that all of them will meet up at this part here. So you can go ahead and mark your lines, or you can just leave it the way it is. All you know is that all the straps are going to be on this neckline here. Mark it in such a way that it will have 0.5 in between, but you can't control this edge. You can only control this part here. Once you sew it down here, it's going to fall on its own around this end here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get my straps and sew them down. So guys, like I said, you need I already have a video on how to make your pattern, so your body. So all you need is like a pattern that contains your body measurement. So you first put in that your body measurement on your pattern, and then split it how you want to insert that. And then the next thing we are going to do now is I'm going to cut out this, but I'm going to give it 1/2 inch here for seam allowance. This is the only part I'm going to add my seam allowance, because at this point I would assume that you've added your seam allowance on your pattern for the body and the size. All we are treating in this video is just how to insert this type of neckline. So we're going to go ahead and mark out 1/2 inch on this neckline here. So this is going to help me be able to attach this back. So when I also put this one, I'm also going to leave about 1/2 inch at the edge, so that these two 1/2 inch, when they meet and I sew it in, I'll come back to what my neckline is supposed to look like. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, but every other thing will remain the same. Cut out my shoulder slope, cut out like this, and down. This is what I meant when I said to cut out 1/2 inch. So you see, I have that 1/2 inch here. I don't have any other thing. Everything is exactly like how the pattern is. So remember, this is on a fold, right? So we're going to set this aside and continue dealing with the neckline. So with this one now, what you need to cut out is like strap that has about 1.5 inch of width, and then make them very, very, very long, so that you can be able to just keep going and then cut as you go. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut out about 1.5 inches long. Width is what you need. So guys, this is it here. You're going to go ahead. I've cut it out, so don't mind this one that I have here. I'm going to be using a different color just to show you guys. So but what you're going to do, 1.5 inch of width, and cut it long enough so that you don't have to go back and keep cutting. So, and then what you're going to do is tuck in 1/2 inch here, tuck in 1/2 inch here, and then fold it into two. So that's how you're going to fold it, and then you're going to go ahead and you place it inside here, you sew it down. So that's how I'm going to go now. So once I've made mine now, all I have to do is just to place that here. So I'm going to just place one here on the neckline, sew it down, right? And then I'm going to cut it at 1/2 inch. I'm going to be leaving 1/2 inch at the end here. So, and then after that, I'm going to place the next one, right? And then I'm going to leave 1/2 inch at the end, place the next one, leave 1/2 inch at the end. Like that, I'm going to just place 1/2 inch all the way till I get around the whole neckline. What I'm doing here, I sew it, I place it back in, That's why I said to make long enough straps so that you don't have to keep going back and forth. So you see, all I have to do is just to keep going like this, and then I'm going to go back in now and cut this one, place it back again. So you see, I still have enough strap to go. Like I started at the center, but you can start anywhere you want. You can start on the other side, on one side, but I'm just starting from the center. So all I have to do now is just to take it the way it is now. I'm also going to cut out a lining for this hair because I'm going to be inserting it inside of the lining. But before that, I'm going to also go ahead. You can just pin it down the way, just spread it out. If you want, you can leave about just a tiny space in between it, or if you want, you can just pull it together. It depends on if you want it open or if you want it together this way. But remember, this is a smaller version than making here, so on a bigger fabric it might not look this jam-packed, but this here is just because it's on a smaller fabric. But it depends on you. You can just leave a tiny space in between each of them. You don't have to pull them together. So now all I have to do is to put my bias. But to put the bias, it will be easier to go from the back of it, right? It will be easier to go from the back because it's stable like this. But if you go from the front, you will just meet all these lumps here. So better to go from this back side of it here. And so guys, this is it here. This is I've used bias to finish up the neckline. So now all I have to do is just to go ahead now, take this the way it is. You can use lining instead of this. You can use lining, which means you're going to cut exactly the same size, but I'm just using like a facing for this. So I just cut out the same neckline, but like about 4 inches or 3 inches of width. All I have to do now is just to take this here. The right side of my fabric is this, so this is the right. All I have to do is just to place this like this, and this is also the right side of my cloth. So I'm just going to take it like this, hold it down here, making sure that the 1/2 inch is at the edge like this, like the 1/2 inch, because there's still 1/2 inch on this neckline. So now you see I've marked out down 1/2 inch from the neckline. So all I have to do is this is the right side, and then this is the right side. So what we want to have is we want to have this like this, but to hide these edges here, all I have to do is just to take it this way and then place it like this. So I'm going to place it in this way. So you see my 1/2 inch is going to be, this 1/2 inch I marked here is going to be at the very end of this, where my seam allowance is, like where this carbon paper stops. So that's where it's going to be. So you see, the only allowance I have now is this thing. This is going to be the seam allowance, because remember we cut this here exactly the same size as the body of the cloth. So all we have to sew on is just on this here. But just because we don't want this rough end to be out like that, we are going to place a bias on it. So just like that, I'm also going to put my bias like this. So as I'm sewing it round and round and round this way, so I'm going to continue sewing it. But as I'm sewing it, I'm going to make sure that this here is right under, and it's going to be moving right like that till the very end, till we get to the other end. So guys, as I'm sewing it, I figured that this will not be able to hold, like it won't be easy for me to just keep sewing it round and round. So what I did is I went back in and held it down with just a slight stitch. So you see the stitch is just at the very end, just so it doesn't move a lot, so that I can be able to put it inside of this facing. So as you can see, I'm going down now with this facing here. So I'm still continuing my stitch. So I'm going to go back in now and continue to sew it round this way, round like this, all the way to the other end. So see, I've attached it. So this is it here. So this is the bias, this is it here. So it's in between the two of them. So guys, if you're just doing this for the first time, I would advise to pin it down because it moves a lot. So you have to just open it up this way and then just pin everything down at the edge so that it doesn't move around a lot, and then you go ahead and sew it. So this is what it looks like now. And then at this point, you can go ahead and add your back panel, add the back bodies, and then before you use bias on it, it's just because I'm only making a video to show the front panel, that's why I put the bias now. But at this point, you can go ahead and just sew down your back to your back panel. Your back panel can just be your normal body, sew the two shoulders together, and then use bias to run the back neckline. So at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and remove this carbon paper. As you can see, I avoided sewing on this because I know that after this point here, I'm sewing into my pattern, right? Because this hair attaches to because I know this hair was attached directly to this, right? So if any mistake I make, I'm already cutting into the fabric. So at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and remove this carbon paper. So I'm just going to tear it out. so that this can be open now. So just pull it out this way. So guys, as you can see, I've removed that here. So now all I have to do is just go back and trim off any excess thread from joining this at the edge. That seam that we made to just hold it, help hold it. I'm trimming it off now. And then once you're done, you will have your neckline. So go back in and just cut off any excess. So guys, this is it here. I've finished it here. So this is what the back looks like here. So that's basically how you do this here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.